there. I mean, to T-Rex fans, I apologize. However, most people, they said that he was kind of the precursor of the glam movement and what have you there. But I'm thinking it begins and pretty much ends with Bowie being in the glam area. Gary Glitter, he had a few hits, but T-Rex, I think they were kind of reaching on him. He has, Bang a Gong, everybody knows that song,
Yeah.
Jeepster, it's about, after Jeepster, it gets pretty shallow here in the States.
Yeah, I would think that one, I'm surprised they even let him in Cleveland. Seriously, that is not enough to get you into, just into a restaurant in Cleveland and get any notoriety. So yeah, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame seems a bit of a stretch. Let's say hello.
Oh yes, say hello.
Say hello.
And I am. This is like the first time we've got to chat.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I've seen you. Go ahead.
Martin's dedicated to doing the dishes, so.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Martin. I know you can't hear me through the headphones, but "Space Oddity" is the perfect alarm clock song, says Big Z. So how are you doing, Chris?
Oh, we're surviving. We're trying to get through. We're looking for another place to live again. So this will be move number 8 once we do. But we're hoping it's the last move we do because it's been a year and a half of very difficult trying to settle in. But eventually it will stop. It has to stop.
I don't know. I have a 7-year-old, and it's kind of like the Terminator. You know what I mean? It will not stop until he doesn't. It's like, man, don't give him any kind of heavy weaponry or anything. The kid he's relentless.
Give him any ideas?
Yeah. I definitely want to give him a soundtrack though. The thing. When he walks into the kitchen, so I can be afraid of him.
Yeah, you need to record it on a little MP3 player and play it every time,
Yes, and speaking of the guitar, I've told the kid, Professor, to be like your dad and be a lifeguard, and can't play football; it's too dangerous. And maybe you can bring the guitar back because, those were the 3 ways to, I liked girls, so I didn't really like football. I just liked the fact that football players got girls, so
Oh, yeah. I wasn't one of those. I definitely wasn't one of those. I wanted the David Bowies and the Boy Georges and the Princes. I know gay and bi and everything, but I didn't care. They had that artistic kind of flair to them that always attracted me. And then I met Martin.
I like that when that was a setup right there, but just because Martin hasn't been on the program yet, I'm going to let that one go. I don't want to take sides. After a concert in Nashville 2 years ago, outside the venue, he was signing autographs. I didn't have anything, but we held hands and told him how much I loved his music. He whispered, "Thank you so much." Wait a minute, who are we talking about here? I got to go back to Leggy Lady.
Yep, got to scroll back.
Let's see.
Brian Ferry.
Oh, wow. Brian Ferry.
Yeah.
Wow. I would hold hands with Brian Ferry, for God's sakes. That dude is shoot. I'm
smooth.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a smooth cat. Good looking guy. Perfect voice. I'm thinking that I need to do something quite right to come back to the next life as Brian Ferry. So, I have no beef with Brian Ferry. Zero beef. Yeah.
I don't know.
Hotel, Avalon, the Roxy music stuff, Love is the Drug. See, you can rattle off 5 Brian Ferry.
Yeah, right. That's true. Right. And you can do 5 more probably. And Brian Ferry, I got to think, you said that, what do you, on what plane of existence do you have to be born a Brian Ferry? But I almost think the universe might have said, wow, this guy was so absolutely evil. Let's bring him back as, the complete opposite, perfect. And he probably just bounces back and forth, I'm just stuck in the lower middle class, loop of the afterlife. But Brian Ferry's just bouncing around from glory to non-glory and back. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I would definitely
pay dues, man.
Exactly. I would definitely. What's that?
One of the things about growing up in a big city is we always had big record stores down on Yonge Street, and I mean, they would always have autograph signings, and they would always have. And I'd go down, I'd skip school, I'd do the whole routine just to meet so and so, and it didn't matter to me who. And when nothing was going on, my father was a member of the press, so he got me snuck into a few places that I probably shouldn't have been in. You know, just
nice.
Back then, it was no big deal. Now, people are so sensitive. How else do you want to get your teenager to learn the real, true craft of things? I know in the UK, help me out, Helen. Is 16 the drinking age in the UK? Am I right with that?
Well, it's 19 here in Canada.
Right. Okay, 19 in Canada, 21 here in the States. I was one of the last grandfathered ones. Here in Arizona, it made it all the way up to 82, and I was 18 and 82. So I was grandfathered in. I could drink at 18. So
yeah, all my American friends would drive over the border for their 19th birthday just so they can drink.
Yes.
Yeah. Come on up. We'll treat you.
And I think, yeah, I mean, yeah. So what part of Canada are you in up there?
I am in Toronto, Ontario. So I'm just north of Buffalo, basically. About 80% of the population of this country lives within 2 hours drive of the border. Very few of us live very far from the border. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it makes sense, right? 18, Helen is saying, for Great Britain is the drinking age.
They must have changed it up just a bit there.
I can understand that when it comes to the GBR, because I mean it's like it's cloudy and depressing, you know, a lot of the time. So
well, this is it. We
got a drink.
We moved from Toronto to Vancouver for work back in late 2001, early 2002, and we just moved back about a year and a half ago back to Toronto, and I never really realized. Like I always knew we were a big landmass, smaller population, larger landmass. But I never realized how much of a difference it is between both coasts. By the time I got to Vancouver, everyone was so different. I felt like I was in another country for 20 years, and it was just really crazy.
Were you guys doing, because I think you guys do a little bit of, like, you do some film work, movie work, stuff like that. Were you doing anything with the X-Files and stuff like that over there?
We're prop makers and special skills actors. We moved to British Columbia for Stargate. We didn't move. Stargate was lacking people.
And it was specific.
Certain skill sets. And while we were there, we started the BC Renaissance Festival, and that went for about 11 years.
Awesome.
So, yeah, we unfortunately wound up involved with a co-producer that kind of took us for everything. And Stargate wrapped, and the work was starting to move away, and it was like, no, we're going home. So we came on back. And we're restarting our lives in Toronto again.
All right, hit the reset button. Awesome.
Well,
exactly.
You guys have a lot of people that really enjoy when you guys are making stuff, and I mean, like, it's a really it's you guys are popular. It's really cool.
Oh, thank you. We try.
Yeah.
We just kind of, Martin and I met at a Doctor Who convention in 1987.
Of course you did.
I mean, come on.
Right. Like, yeah.
He was dressed as Doctor Number 5, complete with celery.
Wait a minute. Who's Doctor Number 5?
Peter Davidson.
Okay.
The cute blonde, well, cute for the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. Right.
And... and I was dressed as Romana Number 1, which was the Time Lady, and the dark hair and the big fur coat and everything. And we became pen pals because he didn't live in Toronto and I did. And eventually he moved to Toronto, and it's like the rest, as they say, is history. We did the marriage thing to shut his parents up, and never had kids but have cats and have been creating since.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah.
Quite the story. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. The one after Doctor Number 4. Duh. Oh, right, Eleanor. Okay. I don't think there's been like 4,200 doctors since the 60s. 13. And is 13. The current doctor, this is how bad, because I'm caught up to David Tennant. And so then you've got who you got after David Tennant. I
didn't watch him struggle.
I don't know. I got to David Tennant.
The most recent Doctor, number 13th, is really all anyone's talking about, simply because it's a woman.
Right. I was trying to lead up. You got Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi, right? Does he come after Tennant, or is there somebody in between? Oh, you don't. I have no idea.
It's Tennant. Oh, jeez, I just had a brain fart.
Oh.
I just had a total brain fart.
Oh wait, there's that guy. I know the actor. He's kind of bald, very high.
Such a bad Whovian.
High strung. I know the actor, and he must have came after Tenet. I just saw him the other day.
Well, Capaldi was 12.
Okay.
And Capaldi was in the original, like in an episode, was it Doctor Number 3 or Doctor Number 4? He was a different character altogether. So when he got the role of the Doctor, he was ecstatic. Apparently.
Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi,
Matt Smith,
Jodie Whittaker.
There you go, Matt Smith.
Matt Smith. I like Matt Smith. Actually, I have seen Matt Smith. Actually, I'm good through Matt Smith, and I just haven't had time to see any farther. Peter Davidson is David Tennant, the 10th Doctor's father-in-law in real life. True story, Ellen.
Yes, and the woman who played the Doctor's daughter is actually married to David Tennant. So the Doctor's daughter is married to the Doctor, who is kind of the daughter.
Definitely sounds more like a Southern United States family than.
I was going to say that's
a British family.
Yeah, you're definitely hitting south.
Yeah. My mother is my brother. My sister is my father.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There you go. It can happen, folks. You didn't think it was possible, but it really is.
Travel, time travel. It just it just kind of happens, and no one knows what happened until they go back to find out what happened, and by then something else has happened.
Exactly. My youngest is a fanatic, and I get brainwashed. LOL. They're weird. The
brainwashed. Oh,
brainwashed.
That's not brainwashed.
Such a harsh term.
What I've always heard about
come on.
This will probably lose all of our stream's views if we talk about Doctor Who too much, but we'll do it just a little more. Yeah, they'll probably take views away from us if we start talking.
Longest running science fiction series ever.
Right. But I've always heard that it was, from the British perspective, it was kind of originally created kind of as more of a kids show than a.
It was originally created as a children's show for historical education. Originally, the Doctor they didn't do all this science fiction regeneration stuff. They didn't introduce all that until the lead actor got sick. And they knew he was not going to make it through. He was just too sick.
Oh, wow.
But they wanted to continue the show because the show got popular. So they rewrote the character to regenerate, and thus the whole series was born. The first episode was supposed to air on the same day that Kennedy got shot, but because all the newscasts focused on Kennedy, they aired it the day after.
Hey Tam, thank you for the Super Hard Award. I do find myself sometimes just randomly walking in the kitchen and going, exterminate, you know what I mean? Just out of the blue, and my 7-year-old's like, what the F just happened? I'm like, well, dude, we got to watch Doctor Who, so you'll know.
Tell him to hide behind the couch and everything will be fine.
Exactly. I watched, so Doctor Who would be played on in the States on PBS.
Yes.
On the public broadcasting system. It would typically, I think, in a lot of places be on Sunday night or Saturday night, really late, And my dad was such a huge science fiction fan that he would allow me to stay up. I'm pretty sure maybe it was the weekend. It might have been a Friday or Saturday night, but he would allow me to stay up late for Doctor Who. And and this is probably, let's see, I was born in early 70s. And for years I would watch Doctor Who on PBS.
Yeah, same here.
It was
for us. It was awesome. Dinner time, so we always sat in front of the TV at dinner and watched Doctor Who while we ate.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Martin, poor little farm boy with German parents who were still learning English because they moved to Canada shortly after the war.
Oh.
And he would be sitting there watching all this British television, Doctor Who, Monty Python, Are You Being Served? And his poor parents would be sitting there the whole time going, you're not our child. You are not our child.
You need to watch some Lenny Riefenstahl. What are you doing, son?
But, he just couldn't get away from it. He actually, they had a little kind of shed in the back, and it had an upper level, and he turned the upper level with using cardboard and markers into the Enterprise bridge to play in. he was such a little geek, in a foreign land where no one understood him. So he had a lot of crazy imagination when he was
That's pretty cool. That's pretty fun, actually. Yeah. You know what, Mom and Dad? You just get out in the fields. Otherwise, I'm going to beam you up. You're gone. You're gone. I made my little transporter back there. I'm leaving. I'm going to go live a life. He's ready. That's awesome.
When I first met him, I thought we were just going to be like pen pals or something, fellow geeks. I was this big city girl. There's no way I'd fall in love with a small town boy. Oops. It just kind of happened. Oops. So.
Well, there are some, again, personally, I'm,
I love dwarf, Alan.
Personally, I don't date men, and I'm told I don't have good taste in men. But I will say,
well, I'm here.
But yeah, right. I thought he was cute, but but I just want to say that there are a hell of a lot of. I've met him. I played football for a very small high school in the country in Indiana, and there are some very hunky farm boys. Like beefcake, man meat, like seriously good looking farm boys out there. So don't just because you're in the big city, don't give up. You took a chance on a farm boy.
I did, and he was a skinny little thing. And before I knew it, I had him exercising and actually eating something other than the heavy farm food that he was eating. And yeah, he actually he filled out quite nicely, and he's standing on the other side of the room looking at me like,
What is she talking about?
I wish you guys could see this. Yeah. He's posing.
All right. Very good.
Don't be a distraction, honey. Don't be. But that's part of that's part of what started the whole prop building. People say, how did you get into it? Some people, there he is. Some people.
Hello, nice to meet you. Great, now we go.
Here. He's gonna very quickly.
Oh, awesome! Look at that. Look at that.
I can share my bud with you.
Wow, we're not in
just leave the microphone nearby. Okay. So stick it in the ear. I know it's the wrong ear, but you can hold it. You'll be fine. There you go. Come closer. Come closer.
Martin, nice. Oh, wait, there it is. Wait, yep, Martin, nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you too. Yeah.
I see you guys in the. I don't know what we call this, a room. I'm not sure. It's a virtual something once in a while. It's always nice to see you, but it's really nice to get a chance to talk to you.
Thank you. Yeah, a cast. It is the room, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. People ask how we got into the whole prop making thing, and he was always tinkering on the farm. And
it was like you said, building that Star Trek bridge with shipping pallets and as much cardboard and crayons and markers as I could get my hands on. I had a few close friends, very few close friends that were nearby, and at the weekends we play Star Trek together. One friend was Kirk and the other Spock. Yeah, I know.
How'd you pick? Who got to be Kirk? And who got to be
was
Spock?
Personality type. He was a Kirk type.
He was definitely a Kirk.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
Martin, we must get down to the planet. Imperative, Martin. Right. There's a girl. She's got green paint on her, and I want to date her. Go. I'm not good at impressions.
Well, who got
clearly.
to wear the red shirt?
Oh yeah, right. Red shirt. That's awesome. Like red that
shirt, man. You were done.
You were toast. Exactly.
Back in the day.
That was good stuff. So the what has been the most what I heard you talking about when they cut down the Stargate and that whole story, but you know what I mean? So, but I want to know, what was the coolest thing you guys have ever done? What do you think the coolest thing you guys have done in that industry?
I would say, not in film, unfortunately, but I would say rescuing the old classic trick bridge for Star Trek.
That's true, yeah. We'll go back to, there's a cat stealing a stainless steel straw. Say that 10 times fast. Cat stealing a stainless steel straw. Christina's right, actually. Non-film related. There was a science fiction group, Star Trek group here in Toronto that back in the 70s built a replica classic bridge. Right, so they had Kirk's chair and science station and all that stuff, and the turbo lift, the back half of the bridge. And the local convention owned it, And it had fallen in disrepair, had been set up and torn down so many times, and the different volunteers and people that just didn't know what they were doing, right? And the guys in charge were just so set in their ways. It's got to stay exactly the way it was when it was first built, and we can't make any changes. But the convention was getting in trouble with the hotel because the hotel wouldn't let them plug in any of the lights or anything because of fire codes and things like that. So convention approached us and said, "Do you guys want to look it over, inspect it, because we're getting rid of the old team. Inspect it, get someone in, tell us what we need to do to fix it up." And then 4 months we stripped it down to the bare bones. We rewired the whole thing, replaced all the light bulbs, replaced all the whole thing was soldered together with plumbing solder as opposed to electrical solder. So you get that really corrosive, the acid core solder, right? And it was just destroying all the connections. And so we completely updated it. We changed everything. We improved the graphics. We fixed up the paint job, rebuilt a whole bunch of the frames, made the whole thing modular. We went up in about a third the amount of time it would take them. It'd take them 15 hours to set the thing up. So it took us 4 or 5. Right.
But what an adventure looking at all the old electronics. And
it was kind of cool, yeah.
The old light bulbs and
this was it would have been early 90s. It was 93 when we took over. And we basically recommissioned it, and then we actually got an inspector to come in and give it a stamp of approval, an electrical inspector, so that the hotel, we would just have to show them the stamp on the bridge, on the main power unit, and they'd say, "Oh yeah, sure, no problem, plug it in."
Production-wise, it's a toss-up. Well, what would you say?
Toss-up between the full-size radio-controlled cars for the Total Recall series,
Oh wow,
or the Atom suit. From Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh my God, that's worth the price of the Atom suit, the original Atom suit, is equivalent to a house.
That's true. Yeah, it was about $250,000 to build the first suit. So basically, it's an exoskeleton suit for the actor, right? So it had to be engineered around him, designed to fit. Went through all sorts of different fittings and rebuilds and that sort of thing to make sure that he could move in this thing. And he could move. He would completely. It's almost as though he wasn't wearing the suit at all. And it's all like armor plating and plastics and joints and all this sort of thing, and electronics built into it. And it's a huge project.
And then the Total Recall cars. Everything was great.
Helen says she's struggling to hear us.
Oh.
Okay. She's probably struggling to hear Christina.
I swear, put it in the wrong. Why don't we do this?
Hold up. Wait.
No, this one here. Okay, there we go.
Nice to. How long have you guys been married or together?
We've been together for 33 years, almost 34.
Almost 34 years.
I usually meet people been together for 5 years and they don't like each other as much as you guys do. You guys are lucky.
Well, we have our moments. We do.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
you can't have all those good times without a few moments.
Well, the quick way to put it is he's a Taurus, I'm a Leo. We'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. Where were we again? Oh, we were talking about
the Total Recall cars.
Total Recall cars, yeah. So we basically, for the show, they wanted to have the police cars in the show be completely autonomous. And of course, this is the days before Tesla and regular electric cars. So we took ourselves, stripped them down. We built full fiberglass chassis over them based on the art department drawings, and installed electric motors in place of the gasoline engines and a full radio control rig. So these things could be driven like an RC car, but they're full size, like a ton and a half, with a huge rack of batteries under the back seat. And they were great. They were fun. We had a little switch between the pop lights on the roof, and there was a joystick inside, so that whoever's sitting in the car could actually grab the joystick, pull back the trigger, and take over actually driving the vehicle themselves from the joystick. So
what happens to old props like that? They just get cut down and scrapped or whatever?
It really depends. Well, you heard the story about Stargate, right? So,
yeah, right.
And that happens a lot too. I have no idea what happened to the cars. It's possible they got repurposed in another production somewhere.
That happens.
The bodies stripped down and replaced with new bodies. You've seen props show up on a show like 10, 15 years later from a show that we did back then.
Well, Stargate, when it wrapped, so much of Stargate stuff wound up, like a lot of the basic and simple stuff just wound up in other productions everywhere.
Yeah, it got auctioned off. Yeah. I mean, at the Stargate, during the wrap, we were basically, the whole crew was locked out of the model shop and kept away from the prop lockup. as the producers came in with an auction house and cataloged everything for auction. So yeah,
very cool. I bumped up your audio on this end. I don't know if that helped with you guys. Some of you guys are having some trouble.
I'm trying to find hearing online, like, because we got these wireless mic things that are great. They don't have earphones, so I'm trying to find half decent buds, like wireless buds that buds, you know, that we can, you know, he can
have good audio.
The other ear.
Otherwise, you just get a lot of echo back if they're running the speakers off the computer or the iPad.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you know, don't. Just trying to think off the top of my head if I can, because I look for those things all the time. But you also want to be able to use them for broadcasting. So if I know there's some out there because I research those things once in a while. But you kind of only get two choices in that these days. It's like consumer level junk or like, you know, professional level gear. You know what I mean? So, but I would say a gaming headsets maybe. There's some decent priced maybe gaming headsets that have decent speakers in them. I mean, you definitely need like I think this on this mic pattern I think is like super cardioid probably. You know what I mean? It's just like right down the center and nothing else. So
well, the hardest thing too has been, you know, the whole building thing. When we're doing a broadcast and we're building, we need something that's definitely wireless and you know, can stay mostly out of the way. So we've been trying to get as much low profile as possible because then it just gets in the way of what you're doing. Especially when you're, we were working on a lightsaber a few broadcasts ago, and all the electronics are really, really small. So of course you're right in there and you're trying to focus, and anything that's big,
and the soldering gun and soldering iron and stuff like that.
So anything big is just going to get in the way. So we've been kind of looking on Amazon and trying to figure out a better way to do this than using our little Apple cable and hoping to God that we can be heard.
Some people pretty successfully broadcast with, I think, the first, you know, or second generation of the regular Apple earbuds. I see people doing those a lot. It's kind of, you know, like it's a bit of a trade-off. I mean, you can have a nice microphone like the Professor does, but then it has its limitations of, you know, you need to be in front of it and, you know, and all those things. So they all have their trade-offs. But
well, like a regular Bluetooth earbud would work fine for a single.
Yeah. Because we've got person, right? We've got really nice mics. If you look at our broadcast, we've got really nice mics that we broadcast with, but there's no earphones.
So so you want to keep the mics then? So,
and
you just need
find some kind of wireless earbuds.
It doesn't have mic of its own, right? So.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't even necessarily be connected to whatever device you were broadcasting out of, so you'd probably be okay that way. But there's a ton of good options for you out there. I mean, if you want to go wireless, do you want to go with still something that's, you know, over the ear like I've got, or you probably want low profile? So
we were just thinking like little buds.
Helen, you're saying your wireless in ears are Bose. Do they have microphone, or are they just earbuds?
Clear now. Oh, good.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, if something happened. Most of them almost now always have a mic with them, but Shure, and there's another company, more of a professional company. They'll still make some, you know, earbuds that won't have mics on them. White noise seems to have stopped, so that helped. Hello, Pizza Pop Tart Nick from Tucson.
I'm sorry, the white noise was just the stuff going on in my head. It's fine.
It came back. See, it's your brain. We're hearing your brain. Oh, I think that was Eleanor, actually. That was Eleanor's brain. Yeah, because I swear her hair was blonde when she got in here, and its brain has been radiating energy.
I love doing things like that. Like we went on a little theater tour with a friend of ours who was he was the technical director for a theater back in my hometown, and he was showing us basically the speaker towers on either side of the stage. And as we walked by, I just went, and he stopped. I was listening, and it was driving him crazy. It's, why are the speakers? Why is the white noise? What's going on? What's this?
Martin's chuckling to himself. You are evil, you know that?
The Bows have a mic. Okay.
Okay. We'll yeah, we're gonna do a little research because being tethered like this is annoying.
But it's cute. But it's cute, So,
it's like those iconic moments, the young couple sharing a pair of earphones, listening to the same music.
Yeah.
Hey,
in the rain.
As of yesterday, I'm officially menopausal. But better watch it, dude.
Yeah.
Does she have good aim?
Very good aim. Yeah.
Oh, then you better be on your toes or your best behavior.
She's a trained sword fighter, so
Oh,
the moves are there.
And an archer, and I know how to fire a gun. I love you, honey.
Well, so how, Professor, what would be some good, like movie music, that we can talk about? Like, give us some good movie music from the. Let's see. You pick the era, but these guys, give us what's some of your favorite movie music? Did they ever make any movie music that was good?
Yes, actually, of all people, one of my favorite soundtracks came from Joe Jackson, who did the soundtrack to the movie Tucker. I don't know if you're familiar with the automotive guy. Yeah, he did a lot of like big band swing arrangements and things like that, and a lot of the mood music there is really just on point. I really like that soundtrack. I mean, Young Einstein, if you want a fun, it seems like I keep coming around to that one. But that's one of those goofy movies that I just absolutely love watching and love the soundtrack to. Great Southern Land by Ice House. Great stuff. And Vangelis, Blade Runner. That's a good one. Look at Helen. She's just throwing them up there.
Boom, boom, boom.
She's knocking them out of the park.
I actually have a
Howard Shore stuff.
I actually have a huge soundtrack collection. So I have a lot of soundtracks there, and some are better than others. Some they just cobble together a bunch of songs and put a movie around it.
So a friend of mine, just because of movie music and everything, so this is how impactful music is in terms of just the wealth that flows from music. So a friend of mine's grandfather wrote Silver Bells, and I can't quite remember his name now. It might come to me, but and he wrote a bunch of standards and some other hits. And she is the granddaughter, and she gets, just for breathing, $100,000 a month, every month for the rest of her life. Like,
wow.
When she turned 18, she gets 100. I'm like, you just get 100,000 a month for breathing, and she's like, yep, because that's what I get it for. It's crazy.
We're friends with the wrong industry people.
We're family with the wrong industry.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, they don't give me any bonuses for breathing, and in fact, there are some people that would probably give my executive producer, my other half, a bonus if I wasn't breathing. So you know what I mean. So.
Oh my God.
Good aim on her too, huh?
Yeah, Dean Martin.
Well, hold on a second. Let me grab a handful of soundtracks here, and we can kind of peruse them.
Nice. All right, we have scratched an itch of the professor. That is a good thing. DJ, DDK, JB Residence. Oh, look, I got some people subscribing. Thank you for all of your subscriptions. I know we've had some new friends coming over and hanging out with us. It looks like Martin's going to go back to working out so he can keep his hunkiness.
He said he wants to go get some water, and he also noticed that my iPad is at 25%. So.
That is.
We're on borrowed time, honey.
Let's see. Let's go back through the comments here for a minute. Wait a minute. Enino Morricone. Yeah, there's some really fun music from the spaghetti westerns. John Williams, Alan Parsons, Project Lady Hawk. Let's see. Oh, Hans Zimmer. Yeah, Hans knows what to do.
Howard Shore.
Yeah.
All right.
And of course,
Back.
you and I have a soft spot for David Bowie and Labyrinth.
Oh, I want to tell a story about the Edge, Helen. I think you mentioned the Edge earlier. So, in fact, the woman who gets all the money from Silver Bells and songs, her ex-husband, who's a good friend of mine, girlfriend, because he's in radio and TV. His girlfriend at that time was met U2, and she apparently got along really well with the Edge.
Nice.
Because Dan one time was trying to get hold of her all weekend, and he's like, she comes back and he's like, "Where were you?" Ireland. And he's like, "You were in Ireland? What were you doing in Ireland?" "Well, somebody flew me to Ireland." And he's like, "Who flew you to Ireland? What are you talking about?" And it was the Edge flew her to Ireland for the weekend. I'm sure it was completely innocent.
They got her drunk first.
I'm sure it was completely innocent. They're not rock stars or anything. But yeah, so I can connect Silver Bells to the Edge in 3 moves. Johnny, what do you got for us, Professor?
All right, let's start at the beginning here. This one goes out to my Canadian friends. Here we go. The soundtrack to Strange Brew by
oh my God,
Bob and Doug McKenzie. There you go.
Take off, you hoser. You got your toque?
One of my favorite movies. Nice. Oh my goodness. All right, next up we have Whoopi Goldberg's soundtrack to Jumpin' Jack Flash that does not have the song that Aretha Franklin did for the movie, which is beyond me why that didn't make the soundtrack, because they released it as a single. And Keith Richards even showed up on the recording of Jumpin' Jack Flash, the Aretha Franklin version, and it's not on here. Boy, was I disappointed when I found that.
Now, my friend Nick...
Beverly Hills Cop 2?
my friend Nick Tremulous in Chicago, he cut a record with Keith Richards, and you said that Keith Richards... he might have just stumbled in and they let him record. If he's anywhere near any record production, he's on a lot of records that he doesn't remember, and 2, he wasn't invited. Just to put it out there.
This isn't where the bathroom is. Yeah, just come step in this booth, Mr. Richards.
Yes, right.
Here's one.
Give me a bottle of Jack.
That Quincy Jones did this one, and Little Richard actually did the theme song to this movie, Dollars, featuring Warren Beatty and Goldie Hawn from way back. So that goes there, and this is just a handful. I have hundreds.
What are those big flat things you're showing us?
These are analog drink coasters.
Analog drink coasters, right? Those are some big ass drinks. Those are like for those Gatorade containers.
Baby.
Yeah.
Well, you got to put a punch bowl on these. This is the Cooley High soundtrack that brought out the original version. It's hard to say goodbye to yesterday. That Boyz II Men did their version of it in the 80s. And this is where the original came out. So I got that covered. You got Muhammad Ali's version of The Greatest, his autobiographical tale, featuring The Greatest Love of All, the original George Benson version, not the Whitney Houston version.
Nice.
Wow.
All right. We also have one that the ELO fans, where's Christina? Somebody call her out.
Yes. I'll be fine.
I think, if I remember right, I think the cast of Xanadu had to pay the movie company back. The movie was so bad. They're like, no, it's in your contract.
It was Gene Kelly's last movie.
I'm not saying it wasn't good. I'm just saying it was not successful.
I don't care.
See, you just ruined her vibe there. And we have
Helen.
I spend 4 out of 7 days a week roller skating around Toronto.
I believe you. I believe you. Now look, I'm having a little fun, but I can remember, although most of my roller skating was to Muskrat Love. Captain and Tennille, like every freaking Saturday. Are you going to play that effing Muskrat love song again? I'm like, please.
Oh. Never thought of that as a roller skating jam. But
yeah, I don't know what the guy just liked, Captain and Tennille or whatever. I don't know what it was. It was like maybe that was he went on a potty break and it just kept playing or something. I don't know.
Exactly. That sounds wild. Now, here's a cross-pollination. We had Quincy Jones doing Henry Mancini. How often do you see one of those babies?
I can see Henry Mancini doing Quincy Jones, but Quincy Jones doing Henry Mancini, that's a different angle.
Definitely. And you probably heard of these guys.
Those four boys from Liverpool. I heard they're bigger than Jesus.
Now, the thing was that you'll notice a few different recordings on this one. The Hard Day's Night actually had movie music on this version of it, where the Brits over in the UK, their soundtrack consisted of all Beatles songs. So for them to get the actual music that was used in the movie, the incidental music and everything, they would have to buy this version of Hard Day's Night. And since they were signed to United Artists, the soundtrack was brought out on United, not Capitol Records, but United Artists. So
I don't know which
there you go.
I don't remember which version. I know I've got a version of it back there, but I don't remember which version I have.
One of my favorite movies, another one, The Great Escape. You know, Steve McQueen on his motorcycle. Hey, good stuff.
Steve McQueen. Yeah, they did a little kind of a popular car chase in Chicago in one of his movies, I think.
Well, they did San Francisco Bullet, where he's ripping out there and doing his thing there.
Oh yeah, Bullet was big time. It was big time.
Now, who's ever watched this movie in the 80s, Rumblefish? Yeah.
And Stuart Copeland is from The Police.
Yes, he is. And Stan Ridgway from Wall of Voodoo actually sat in on Don't Box Me In, which was released as a single. It actually got airplay, not very much, but it did. There's that. And then we have one of these knockoff soundtracks from The Untouchables, the Elliot Ness. Yeah, with the police officer actually keeling over from being shot. You gotta love the album covers of the late 50s, early 60s. You know, they didn't mess around.
They weren't holding back. That's in good shape. Is that a reprint or is that an original?
It's an original. It's on Somerset. I mean, which is a knockoff label. And then you had a compilation called Secret Agent File, where they took themes from all these different movies. I Spy, Octopussy, Riley, Ace of Spades, Casino Royale, Thunderball, The Prisoners on here, Our Man Flint. So you got Get Smart. You got all these different secret agent jams here on this one.
That much.
Sorry about that, Chief.
People are like, if you're, I don't know, under 70, which clearly I'm not, you have no idea what we're talking about. I know.
Oh, we were into all of that stuff too.
I grew up in all that.
BBC
oh my
series,
God.
Yeah, one of the many James Bond soundtracks.
Is that wait a minute? Is that Roger? Is that Roger?
Yeah. Let's see. That is who was on this one. George Lazenby was in that one.
I was going to say I couldn't. It didn't look like either Mr. Connery or Mr. Moore.
Now, do you guys know the hit song that came off this soundtrack?
I can't. It says. Does it say chess?
Yeah, we're all like
in
trying to.
Preview.
The preview's only this big, honey.
Is it? Oh, it is the chess soundtrack.
It is.
Murray Head.
Yes, Murray Head. One Night in Bangkok. It came off that one.
That's a catchy tune. I still like that one.
All right. And who could forget about the Breakfast Club soundtrack? Yeah, you got some great stuff there.
Now, what time? When was that released?
Breakfast Club was 1985.
Yeah. I was 1 year out of high school, man, and like that was high school.
That was my second last year of high school.
I was 2.
You were 2.
We're sorry.
Yeah. Eleanor, I have hiking boots that I got when I was 12. I have the same size foot, so just subtract 1979 from 2021, and I have boots probably almost twice your age. So there you go.
Oh,
Yikes.
That's where everyone knows Simple Minds from. Yeah.
That's where everyone knows Simple Minds from.
I suddenly feel old. Oh no!
And one of the more heavier soundtracks from the television movie Holocaust.
Oh, wow.
And that one there is a tough one to watch. That was on NBC television in the late 70s, where James Woods got his beginning there. And
unfortunately, he didn't get his end there. We had to put up with him for decades longer.
Exactly. So that's just one smattering of soundtracks there. But
that was
as
fun.
you can tell, I like soundtracks. Matter of fact, you've seen the collection. It's a huge. I've been doing it forever, and I just enjoy it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
DJ's fantasy.
My dad always had. Wait, there he is.
No, I'm here. I'm just changing camera angles.
Gotcha.
See, that's where most of the albums are.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, my dad was always a big soundtrack fan. We always had soundtrack albums in the house. When we would go spin a record on the record player thingy. John Carpenter's Starman, Jeff Bridges by Jack Nietzsche. He didn't get the big picture or learn from the film.
Yeah, that's true. That is true, Kim. I just picked up Starman on cassette, the soundtrack. Literally, I just got it a couple days ago.
Make sure you have a pencil handy in case you need to rewind it.
Yeah, really.
Oh yeah, never leave home without a pencil.
You can't. Not if you got a back seat full of tapes. You got to have at least one pencil back there.
I noticed at your place there was a lot of Disney.
Well, from my
for the nieces and nephews,
my early days, and we got handed down nieces and nephews. But I had very few albums of my own. I did end up with Alan Parsons' project, the Pyramid album, at one point. But most of the albums in the household, because my parents are old school German, was a lot of German music and European artists and things like that. So.
Chris, are you outing him for those Annette Funicello records?
Actually, with my dad was absolutely in love with what was her name, Muriel Matteau.
Oh my God.
A French singer.
Don't know.
From the 50s or the 60s.
You want to grab some of your Disney ones, babe? Because they're talking about Disney right now, records.
Well, there's that too.
The difference between his family and my family are so extremely different. I mean, my father, as a child, snuck me into heavy metal. It's not a movie for a child, but he felt his daughter should see it. Mm-hmm. So he bought tickets for some little animation kids film, and then of course we went into the wrong theater. But, the difference is so different.
Wait, what was the movie? I'm sorry, I missed what the movie was.
Heavy metal.
Oh, I do remember that movie.
It was rated R.
Yeah.
And I was not that old yet.
I was going to say, let's see. Oh, Helen, that's such a hard call for me because
exactly.
I can't. But I'd love to.
Yeah, we actually on one of our broadcasts a little while ago played the 12 Days of Christmas by Bob and Doug, and for one of our viewers, and Facebook muted it.
Yep.
Yeah, the I have no problem if people play it, that's fine. But like I've got I've got a lot of I want to honor the TOS, and I've got a lot of friends who are, and because I really want somebody to buy me an ASCAP BMI license so we can play music on here, but I have no idea, like, because streaming rights and everything are so insane. Like, I cannot believe that they haven't gotten to the point where I can't buy a simple license that'll make them some extra money, that we could all start to broadcast on here. It's really, really frustrating because I would love to play, I would love to just play some tunes once in a while or whatever.
Well, yeah.
But
we used to play stuff in the background on Periscope all the time, and then,
rather than having that dead silence when we're not answering a question or engaging with the audience.
But yeah, it just the issues are just too big.
Hap seems to be fine with it. They're not, they're definitely not stopping anybody. So, but yeah, I just I can't do it, and I want to do it. You know what I mean? Like I love playing music, and there's just so much music that I like, and that wouldn't be my thing, but it would just be nice to be able to play a little music or something once in a while.
Yeah.
Now, what about fair use?
Well, now you talk to me about it.
Yeah.
I mean, fair
use is how, because we're educational things. As long as you put up a parameter. I actually did talk to, who was it there? It was somebody in the educational field. But like in my case, I love to educate people. Oh, looking at the wrong camera. I love to educate people about the music and the artists and the producers and things like that. As long as you're using it in an educational base, you should be okay. I mean, once you get the clearance on it, just like how textbooks can use images and things like that. As long as you're educating people, you're not just a DJ playing a mix or something. You should be able to get around it.
Well, then you can spin a couple. I'm fine with it. You know what I mean?
No.
Oh no.
Not my show. Nope. Okay. I'll do it for Helen on my own place, but I don't want to put anybody else out there.
No, that's fine. She just wanted you. She just wanted you to, but that's fine. The
we're going to disappear because my battery's going to die any second now. And, I want to go plug this baby in and plug this baby in too.
Oh my.
Yeah. Oh my.
You guys. Sorry, that was 1 minute before 11, so it's a violation of the Haps After Dark charter. So
it's midnight here, so it's okay at our end.
Oh, okay. No, then happy anniversary. Good.
As we always say on our broadcast,
we're not that kind of broadcast.
Awesome. Well, it's great to meet you guys. Like, super fun.
Thanks for having us.
We'll talk
really nice. Yeah. I hope you do. It was a lot of fun. Awesome. Take care.
Thanks for coming by.
I got to say that both, who was it? Helen and I both discovered after many weeks on this platform that you can hit the exit button and actually leave the room. Because I'm always just sitting here like, are they going to put me out of the room? What is happening? I can't talk. So, Oberwan wants to know who Q is. Oh, QAnon. But Haps is online, not in person. Yeah, well, like I said, that it's just fair use does make sense to me in that regard. So I've always just wanted to be careful because I got that Facebook would always gack me for doing it too, because I did do some stuff on Periscope just every once in a great while. But I wish they would just give us a license. Like, seriously, like, this is what bugged me about the whole merger to digital music and video and stuff. They destroyed their industries by being stubborn and not seeing that, the times where they were a changing. And I just don't see why you can't, have me pay $50-$75 a year to play all the music I want to play.
Hey, there we go. Eleanor, thank you for the fair use there. Copyright.com there. Great. Yeah. So you got to be real careful because I'd rather not take that risk on this program because I like you too much, Rev. Rev, you're the man, and I don't want to see me playing something that just happens to be the wrong thing at the wrong time. I know I attempted to go on Twitch with my program, and boy, they just took out the machete and just chopped out chunks on my show.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Somebody said because so many of the Twitch streamers play music that they have a stream that's a Twitch stream that you can just play that music. It's either licensed or whatever. I don't know, but obviously that wouldn't do what you wanted it to do. But where's the other? Like, I don't know. I mean, I definitely think with the fair use in this environment, you should be 100% safe. there are lots of other, shall we say, more risque video ventures that that do use unlicensed music a lot. You know what I mean? And like they're not going after them, so they shouldn't go after. They shouldn't go after folks doing this. Most of the music I play is on my streams are independent artists or who aren't on record labels. I have their permission as I'm promoting them. Yes, Harris Heller launched Stream Beats. You'll have to. Can you play the radio in the background? No, the Facebook will grab it. They'll find it. But Mark Zuckerberg,
Facebook will punt it. Yeah,
because because
actually. I was saying, actually, when I had a chat with George Clinton, he actually said I have permission to play his music.
Oh, wow. How do you tell the algorithm?
Well, if you want to get
awesome.
If you guys want to get around the algorithm, the little tracking device, play the music +5 or -5. If you're a DJ, you know what I'm talking about on your turntable. Pitch it up fast or pitch it down slow. And like the one show I was playing my 8-track tapes on, and they were kind of wonky. Even the Eagles didn't trigger. That was the funny thing. It was kind of, and it never triggered their radar.
It never triggered it. That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
that is pretty funny. It's crazy. Like you can go to Spotify and search for Stream Beats. It's copyright free. Neat. Good. Yeah, I've definitely used copyright commercial free music and in some of the video projects I've done that I haven't gotten paid for and stuff like that. I just I like that idea of something like that at least. But yeah, licensing in music, it's pretty crazy. So it's 11:04. I can't believe that 2 hours flew by. So
yeah, I've been on 2 hours and 3 minutes. Poof. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So this has been just wow. Like this was really fun. Really fun.
Well, I still yet to hear from Eleanor. I've been here this whole time, and she's been patiently sitting there and petting her doggy and just kind of in there. And I'm thinking, wow, I feel kind of bad because she's just chilling, and I haven't given her the proper. I'll be quiet and let her hang out here because she's been more than patient. She's been awesome.
You're not even unmuted, young lady. Hang on.
Oh no.
There you go.
That's funny. I said I'm just the director.
Yeah, Eleanor's she does when she wants to talk, she'll talk. She doesn't talk much. But when she,
really?
we love to hear her. We love to hear her when she does talk, but she is technically my technical director, but she hangs out with us too. So
nice.
Yeah. It's if you support the show, you can, we're paying it forward in this thing, let's everybody help each other out, support all your shows, support all your friends, drop your coins around, and just sharing the love. We'll give you a DCMA. They will give you a DCMA warning. You're able to appeal it. So if you have permission to tell them there, George Clinton. Now, wait, quickly before we go, how did that happen? He was on your show.
Well, what happened was here in Phoenix, came by the tour, and he used to be a guest of mine on Periscope on my show. He used to pop in and just hang out in the comments in the rooms, and we got to know each other. And when one time backstage, we were just talking. I says, he says, "Oh well," I said, "Well, I'd love to play more of your music, but I'm afraid I'd get in trouble." He says, "Oh, don't worry about it, man. You can play whatever you want of mine. I absolutely would love it." And then, the next time he came to town, I happened to be in the front row, and he points me out on stage. The professor's in the house, and I'm just like, "What?" Rock and Roll Hall of Famer just shouted my name out in the crowd.
That's a pretty big deal.
Best moment ever. I think I got it on video somewhere. I'll have to drag it up and show you guys that.
That would be a very awesome moment. I used to work for a concert sound company, and we did sound reinforcement, for concerts and stuff like that. And I've been fortunate over the years to meet a lot of musicians, literally high, not really hang out with anybody, but I have been able to hang out with a few actors. But but it's you said it early in the show, and it just kind of wrap around there. The like getting in backstage in the even in the 80s at the Aragon Ballroom. I call it the Arrogant Ballroom, but the Aragon Ballroom is you could get backstage. You know what I mean? Like, you found a roadie and you gave him a gift or something. You know what I mean? He would let you backstage. And now, I mean, like they've got multi-million-dollar security firms that scan your eyeballs and everything. You can't get within 1,000 feet of those folks anymore. It's too bad because
I've gotten backstage at every single concert I've been to.
Were you armed?
Arms.
I was gonna say, sometimes if you are quite attractive, you will not have problems getting backstage.
It's performers. My mom has connections in the music industry. So.
Although I will say that I have one kind of fun story because he was just in the news. The Aragon roof collapsed a little. It did actually, CL. You're right. The train was shut down for a while. When I was in the sound, so we did sound reinforcement. I was the operations manager. My job was to get all the gear everywhere that it needed to get, and but I would have to occasionally go mix a small show or something because we would be out of engineers. And I mean, I was a video and film director and stuff, and I could run a board. I hated doing it, but they said, "Oh, you got to go do a show at what is the theater in Chicago? It's one of the 4 or 5 acoustically perfect halls. It'll come to me in a minute, but anyway, got to run down to the theater because that's actually important to the story. You got to run down to the theater and do it's just a small. It's just one mic, just a couple of speakers. No big deal. The guy just needs a little extra amplification, and I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty straightforward. And I'm like, what's the gig? They're like, Tony Bennett. I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, no way. I am not going down there and setting up anything for Tony Bennett. Not going to happen because I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? If it was like Bill Johnson and the good old boys, that's fine. We can have a few squeaks there and we'll figure it out. But you're asking me to go down to see Tony Bennett and do that. And so it's, what's the name of the darn theater? But anyway, so I get down there nervous as absolutely can be because Tony Bennett, and I got to hook up this sound system for Tony Bennett. Like, I'm not an engineer. So we get down there, and I get down there with all that gear, and I go up onto the stage, and I'm like, hey, I just need to get this, equipment set up. You want to tell me where to put it? And Tony Bennett comes over to me, and he's like, we don't need it. Don't worry about it. And he just started to sing. And that room, the music carries in that place was just absolutely phenomenal. And he sounded beautiful. And then when he was done, he's like, yeah, but go ahead and set it up because I can't do that all night. So I still had to set the equipment up, and everything was set up right. Every dial had a tape thing on it that I made my boss put on there and turn the knob to that spot. And I had everything written down, and the show went really well. And he was amazing. It was really cool to be backstage at a Tony Bennett show because I decided to stick around. I wasn't going to leave. So that was a good one.
Well, good on you. He just announced that he's having issues of So. Yeah, that's pretty tough there. Hey, I have not gotten the chance to see him, and I've been working for arenas here in the area for about 8 years now. And finally, like I mentioned earlier, going back to work for basketball, so they may be trying to get some other non-sports into the arena here. We just renovated it, and they said maybe Disney might try to do something here later, either this month or next month. So got my fingers crossed that they'll start sneaking stuff in, which would be
well,
nice.
I got my fingers crossed for you to, because I'm sure this is probably income that you're happy to get. So I got my fingers crossed that you were able to continue to get that income. I want to thank you, Professor, for hanging out with us. Please hang out with us again. I will say this, that in the cheap seats, there was lots of comments about how much fun this was having the professor here. And my first question is, well, if it's so much fun, what are you doing here when he's not here? Okay, so whatever. Fine, people. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a really good time. Really appreciate having you here. It was great. Oh, was it Lincoln
thanks
Hall?
For having me.
Yeah, thank you, my friend. Thank you for hanging out with us. This was great. No performances here at all, Helen says.
I got to show off some of my children, the 12-inch kids there. I got to, anytime I get to show off records, it's a beautiful day.
Oh, beautiful. Well, I'm glad. That was awesome. That was really great. I really had a fun time.
Oh, no, it was my pleasure. Trust me on this. So,
all right.
And for Helen, I will go grab the Starman soundtrack, and we'll try to get my tape deck hooked up. I got my 8-track hooked up, my turntable, but I can't find a tape deck that works. I got one that runs fast, and another one has a hum problem. You don't know anything about electronics, do you?
Me? Yeah, you heard my breath. Very good there. Nice one. But actually, look, I don't know if you can see, but down there.
Oh, look at all that yumminess.
So I have learned a little bit. That's this is a 12-channel digital digital board.
Ooh.
There's no board. It's all, it's all just on the computer. And there's a decent, it's not super expensive, but it's a little decent piece of equipment. It's a good little board.
Yeah.
And when I was at a show, I was at a gig summer before because of COVID. And I went and, they were doing sound reinforcement for one of the stages at the festival. And I went over to the soundboard area there, and I'm like, I just want to see what you got. And so the guy's got a mixer that's, let's see, it's about maybe, it's almost kind of square. So let's say it's maybe, I don't know, 25 by 25 or something, maybe a little bigger than that. Maybe it's 50. I don't know. It's it's like about this big, you know what I mean? It's like the size of a packing box or something, maybe. And I'm like, is that like is that like your monitor mix? Because monitor mix, you don't need a lot of channels and everything. He's like, oh no, that's all of it. Like, that's like all of what? He's like, that's front of house, that's main, that's mains, that's monitors, all in one freaking board. And he showed me all the inputs and everything on that board. And I went and looked it up because I looked up the brand, and it was like, and I say only because this will sound a little expensive maybe, but it was only maybe $10,000 or something. It was pretty reasonable in terms of what audio equipment costs.
Yes, but that's very reasonable.
But a board like that, which wouldn't have been as good a board because the technology has gotten better, but a board that could do all that, well, nobody would have done it. You have a different monitor mixing board, but barring that, we had 128 channel, cannot remember the brand, mixing board that in 1990, somewhere around 1999, we paid $200,000 for.
Woo!
And that little thing now is $10,000, and it can blow away anything you could have done back then. Yeah. So things have come a long way.
Yes, they have. So that's the cool part about it. It's just the technology and what we're doing right now. Who would have thought this was possible 5 years ago? Pre Periscope. Who would have thought that you could have sat in a room with a guy talking about music and seeing him real time there? The only thing I can think like this, I don't know if you go way back to the early 2000s, there was this thing called Camera Cafe. There was a program I used to moderate rooms then, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. But it got bought out by a medical firm, and it kind of went away. But it was the wild, wild west in that days of the internet there back then. So this is the kind of the closest thing it had to that, and I'm starting to get that feeling again, like Barry Manilow,
At the Copacabana, the hottest spot north of Havana.
Here at the Copa. I used to sing that one at karaoke. I dated a karaoke queen years ago, and I used to always bring that one out. And I did it in my Fernando voice.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I would always like. I won't usually sing Elvis, but thank you very much. I mean, I can do Elvis decently, but who I really can do really well is Neil Diamond. Like, dude, that's my. If you don't got Neil Diamond at the karaoke, if you don't have Neil Diamond at the karaoke, I'm not singing. So,
here we go. They're coming to America today, my country, 'tis of thee.
It always amazed me that guy for a long time was like the wealthiest entertainer, and the only place he ever played, it was Vegas practically. So the guy's talented. I don't want to say he's not, but man, he was making the bucks back in the day.
Yeah, he was. Remember, man, that and wine were like the prescription for middle-aged women back then. Neil Diamond and a box of cheap wine. That was a good evening right there. But that's the hookup.
And I don't want to just talk about women. I want to talk about all neurotics. Okay, so both men and women. Let's be fair.
You said that.
If they had Xanax back then, Neil Diamond's career would have been ruined because nobody would have needed to just drop a bunch of Quaaludes, drink a bunch of vodka, and go listen to Neil Diamond. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Turn on your heart light.
Good to meet you, sir. Again, good to see you. Thank you.
All right.
It was so much fun. Enjoy your evening. Is it only Wednesday? All right. Well, it's not even. We're ready for the weekend yet. So, thank you, everybody that hung out with us. Thank you. Remember to go find your friends that are creators and become a sponsor. There are people in this room that don't have a sponsor. So go sponsor somebody, folks. And I will see all of you.
Just send me money. It's cool.
Yeah, you could actually just send cash. Just send cash to Eleanor in Denver. Just send it.
Eleanor in Denver.
Address it that way, and Eleanor will find it. So,
awesome.
Yeah, or just give me your. You could just never mind. So you could put your routing number and account number in the chat if you want us to get it faster. And thank you, everybody. Good night. Take care. Thanks, Eleanor, as always. Peace be with you, and namaste.